Hey, good morning, everybody. As we promised, we were going to do more Facebook Lives. Oh, no, YouTube Live. Sorry, my bad. It's 10:08 a.m. on Tuesday. The paper has gone to press, but I want to let you know here is the latest on the Old Shore Road bomb yesterday, and basically recapping in case you had forgotten yesterday, weren't around yesterday. About 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, Nottoway authorities, along with Blackstone firefighters and Nottoway Emergency Squad, were called to a residence in the 800 block of Old Shore Road. That road runs basically between 153, comes out by Bellefonte Grange, and goes down to connects, I think, to Yellowbird. Is that right? Yellowbird, or yeah, I should know my geography. I've only lived here 57 years. But anyway, shortly after 4 o'clock, the sheriff's office responded. The firefighters and rescue squad, emergency squad, were put on standby to stage. A woman returned home and found what she believed to be a quote unquote homemade bomb. Moments later, authorities arrived on the scene, and one of them said it appears to be a quote unquote improvised IED, quote unquote. Well, we all know from especially from the Iraq War, what IED is. It's an improvised explosive device. Of course, they call state police explosives team, and then pretty much they shut down the road for a while, parts of the road, Old Shore Road. And this is moments ago from the sheriff. Bear with me. He's still going through information, but Sheriff Robert Jones moments ago sent this email, 9:55 a.m., sent this email. Virginia State Police EOD team, explosive ordnance dismantling. I don't know what the, anyway, state police did respond and removed/neutralized a homemade device from a residence located on Old Shore Road. I happen to know it was an 800 block of Old Shore Road. Sheriff Jones continued. A search warrant of the residence was then executed. The investigation continues. That sentence makes me think the device was an actual bomb that could have exploded or caused harm. They responded and removed/neutralized. Typically, you don't neutralize those things that don't need to be neutralized. Now, it could have been precautionary because they look like wires or something. I don't know. Those of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s, it was always just every show had some scene where, oh my gosh, there's a bomb with a countdown, 3 minutes, and somebody had to go with, decide what was it? You could never touch the red wire. You had to cut all the other, I think the green, the yellow, and the blue wire, but don't touch the red wire. And every show I watched as a kid, the clock got down to 3, 2, 1. You can exhale because he made the last snip, didn't touch the red wire, but not again, not to make light. Someone could have been very seriously hurt. I cannot recall. We've had idle bomb threats in Nottoway County. People, that was a big thing in the 70s as well, 80s, all in a bomb threat and shut down schools and businesses and that sort of thing. But an actual bomb being discovered inside a residence, as I said earlier today in a previous broadcast, there have been a few cases where people have done gardening around rural Nottoway, Dinwiddie County, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, there's a stray shell from Pickett that's unexploded. Sometimes people discover what just happened to be a dead shell that someone had as a collector's souvenir. But so again, told y'all last year that 2025 wore me out. 2026 is well on its way to surpassing 2025. I mean, we've done 1 month. Let's see, we've already got 2 bona fide, probably top 10 stories of the year. The bowling alley debacle, which will continue through this year, I'm sure. That's going to be a recurring theme. But with the sex offender and the backlash on that, the weather we just had, I mean, the winter we're having with 6 more weeks at least to come. I mean, I think we may have hit 2 of the top 10 stories in 1 month. Or you could look at it and say, it's just January. What in the world else is 2026 going to bring? But one thing I will tell you, that whatever it does bring, we here at the Courier-Record will be on top of it. We're going to give you facts. In between publications, we'll give you some analysis, take you behind the page a little bit, tell you what goes on into making the sausage, some things that we're working on developing. We're told a lot of stuff here. We get a lot of Facebook messages. from family members of defendants, from elected officials, from supporters of elected officials, from opponents of elected officials, from whistleblowers, from people with uh, high publicized positions, high profile positions that want to let us know something but don't want to be attached to it. We have to decide. Like I said, we rarely will use an unnamed source. It's got to be ironclad. And if they burn us and or they accidentally tell us something wrong that they assured us was accurate, they lose standing in our, everyone out there, there's a list out there, folks. We all got a list of people we trust, we kind of trust. Um, no different, the Courier-Record is a business, just like any other business, like any other household. We have to act based on our experiences with people, our observations of people, and make decisions accordingly on sources. But most of our sources, you can read it right there in black and white. And there are a lot of people, it's funny, talk about misinformation or disinformation. People aren't informed about county issues or local issues. I find that what happens is they respond to a story that pops onto our social media. The story's there. No one ever protests its accuracy, but some of the comments get under people's skin because people are expressing their opinion about the facts. Two totally different things. The facts are in one lane, and then opinions from citizens and Facebook viewers and even people with fake profiles, anonymous, that's totally different. Don't lump us into the how people react to a story that you're named in unless the story's inaccurate. And like I said, if we misquote somebody, take someone out of context, and I use that I'm very liberal when it comes to someone saying, "Well, you didn't really take it in context." I'll go back and listen, but don't take my word for it. Watch a video. So again, there's no disinformation coming from the Courier-Record. There's no misinformation coming from the Courier-Record. Now, people may articulate opinions and make up their own set of facts on our page. That's something we can't control, nor do we seek to control. And one last thing, there were some comments made this past week about some of the letters to the editor. People expressing their opinions about elected officials, bills, state legislation, that sort of thing. And people were talking about, you could see the hate in some of these people's letters. That's subjective. Our belief here at the Courier-Record is the best way to combat speech that you find offensive, speech that you find troublesome, speech that you find maybe incendiary, is to combat it with civil, constructive speech. The answer to that, which offends, is speech that does not. Billy Colburn here, signing off, 10:15 a.m. Be safe, be grateful, be happy, be the best you can be.